I want to thank the chief medical. I want to thank the chief medical director, Professor Obaseki, for the kind invitation, and of course, at the same time, I want to thank the members of the board, the management, staff, and patients of the university. But I want to, in felicitating with you, really appreciate the founding fathers and all the past chief executives of the hospital. And the progress that has been made is phenomenal over these past 50 years.
For the past 50 years, UBTH has been at the forefront of saving lives like this. Our team of healthcare professionals, consisting of doctors, nurses, paramedics, and the whole team, have been a beacon of hope for the people of the South-South geopolitical zone. Come along with me and I'll take you on a ride on how it all began.
I am Sir Franklin Ijese Mohome. I was seconded from the civil service of the then Midwestern region to the Midwest Medical Center, as the hospital was at that time. That was the beginning of my connection with the hospital. I was there as the first House Governor and Secretary. It started, as I said, as a Midwest Medical Center. The late Brigadier General Bumudia was an achiever, set out to establish so many projects. He began with what was called then the Midwest Institute of Technology, which metamorphosed into the University of Benin. And he thought that that project would not be complete until there was also a teaching hospital.
Every day for the past 50 years, our doors have a stream. Our professionals in different departments who have been trained and have acquired capacities in almost every aspect of medical specialty, nursing care, and ancillary services work tirelessly to provide top-notch services, which have become a mark of distinction for UBTH. From the accident and emergency to the theaters, the wards, the critical care areas, and even the various outpatient clinics, you are sure to experience professionalism through and through.
I'm Professor Eugene Okpere. I retired as a professor of 22 years from University of Benin in 2018. I was Chief Medical Director of University of Benin Teaching Hospital 204-208. The University of Benin Teaching Hospital is, apart from UCH, the only teaching hospital that started full-time as a teaching hospital. In fact, UCH didn't really start as UCH. UCH started in Adioyo and eventually moved into the teaching hospital UCH in Ibadan. And when you look at the buildings they built, you are amazed how they could see the future. The buildings are structurally solid, architecturally competent, and pleasing to the eye. And the good news is that subsequent chief medical directors and director of administration and all UBT staff have stuck to this unbelievable looking into history. So when you come to UBT, you don't see choked up buildings. In fact, if a person will be amazed of the new structures that have been put in UBTH, and yet it merges so beautifully with the system. We give credit to them. Of course, we must give credit to subsequent chief medical directors. But I think the greatest evidence of our success story can be borne out by one issue. In 2007, the federal government started Servicom, and they set up committees to evaluate all federal-owned institutions. I think they evaluated about 250 federal institutions. I'm glad to say UBTH is in the papers, was adjudged to be the best federal institution in the country in terms of service delivery. That is one I like to regard as one of our best achievements because it encompasses our success story.
Beyond the professionalism of our personnel, the management of UBTH has invested so much in technology and acquired state-of-the-art equipment to be able to provide high-end services in the hospital, such as laparoscopic surgeries, laser lithotripsy, transsphenoidal and transnasal surgeries, as well as the capacity for open heart surgery. To be able to support these high-end services, the critical care units have also been upgraded. Our 15-bed ultra-modern intensive care unit and 50-bed neonatal unit are all testament of our commitment to enhancing quality of life.
UBTH has been wonderful for me. This is my first child. My experience here was amazing. I'm grateful for God I actually gave birth here because a lot of things that I learned during the antenatal has really helped me greatly. And we're still here. We continue to come back here and we hope that other mothers will also come here as well. It's not expensive.
Elderly patients also have a special place in our hearts. With a dedicated geriatrics ward and elder-friendly hospital initiative, this hospital takes care of you from cradle to grave.
I had multiple fractures on my waist and my left leg, and they call it, according to the hospital when I got here, they call it ORIF. So by my waist, I had a serious fracture there, and also at the waist too. I was admitted to this hospital here on the 3rd of January, and it lasted the 8th of March when I was discharged. The experience so far, and particularly with the doctors and the nurses, yes, their disposition towards patients, particularly to me, let me just give my own experience. It has been very good, friendly. I enjoyed their care more, especially like my own doctor, the doctor in charge of my distinct Professor Bumudia. I believe he's a very renowned, caring, fatherly man. So he attended to me very well. And today you can see it, I'm standing because on the first place, when I was admitted to this hospital, at least for the past 1 month, I couldn't stand. I couldn't even sit. I was just lying facing up. I was thinking my spinal cord was even dead. So, but now see me, I'm standing, I'm moving.
But UBTH is not just a place for patient care alone. It is also an institution for training of high and middle-level manpower for the healthcare industry. Our residency programs in the different specializations have full accreditation.
Well, my name is Bashon Radidoja Adeworu MFR. I'm the current chairman of University of Benin Teaching Hospital. UBTH as of today is the largest teaching hospital in South-South. Because we have committed members in the hospital and all the professors are there, we have distinguished ourselves. First and foremost, we have peace. We have unity among the staff, the nursing staff, the administrative staff, the technology, the pharmacy, and we all called all heads of department together that I have meeting with them. And one of the reasons why UBTH is like that is when you have a leader, and when your leader knows his worth. A leader knows that no star will shine forever. There are times for everything, and you take your time and develop others. There is no progress or no success unless there is an adequate successor. They contributed their quota. And of course, we are having a lot of improvement of lot of things that we have done.
After 50 years of dedicated services to Nigerians, seeing what we have been able to achieve, we are more than ever before committed to providing quality healthcare solutions to all our clients from all over the country.
I'm Professor Darlington Enwabaseki, I'm the Chief Medical Director of University of Benin Teaching Hospital. I'm privileged to be the 6th Chief Medical Director of this great hospital. UBTH holds a lot of promise in helping turn around the healthcare delivery system in Nigeria. The challenges we face in the country today, including healthcare worker attrition through migration to other countries and general economic downturn, has negatively affected the healthcare system. But UBTH stands at the forefront of trying to reverse all this by championing specialist services that can be accessed in a one-stop center like ours. We look forward to in the next 50 years to be able to do a lot of things to compete with the best hospitals in Africa and indeed the world. We look forward to the next 50 years to make UBTH a center of excellence for comprehensive cancer care, all the way from screening, diagnosis of cancer conditions, treatment, palliative care, and even research into cancer, breakthrough research. We want UBTH to be at the forefront of this advance. Also, cardiovascular disease is becoming very prominent in Africans, in Nigerians now. We're also looking at making UBTH a center for cardiovascular treatment. We look forward to setting up an advanced cardiac lab with a cath lab, an ability to have cardiac interventions. We've already initiated that. We're having an open heart surgeries. We believe that if we can do this, a lot of our citizens who currently travel out of the country to seek care abroad, a lot of them will not stay back because we have the backbone, we have the structure in place to be able to execute this. We have the manpower to be able to do this seamlessly.
This hospital has come a long way, has grown from a small institution to the level where it is playing big in the national scene. We also expect in Africa and the world.
I'm the best my generation ever seen.
50 years gone, the future is even brighter.
I never miss. I've been smashing, I've been killing everything. From Ikeja to Ojuwe Legba Bridge, to the many places that I've never been. Remember this, I'm a king, I'm a legend in the making, I'm a champion.
Mrs. Victoria Gowon is back to the same venue, back to the same place, but this time not to cut any tape, but to sit as a wife of the chairman of the occasion on the Golden Jubilee.
Every day, more than 1,100 patients are seen in our outpatient clinic as of today. Every day, we attend to more than 58 emergencies. Every day we admit more than 80 patients. Every month more than 80-something hospitals, other hospitals refer patients here. It's a very busy hospital, it's a very functional hospital, and it's a pride of Edo State and indeed Nigeria. An African to have attempted and succeeded in doing stem cell transplantation. The first hospital to start IVF, first public hospital to start in vitro fertilization in Nigeria. The first hospital, public hospital in Nigeria to start what we call lithotripsy. We are capable of doing endoscopic surgeries now, minimal access surgery, both only surgical ones, endoscopic sinus surgeries, we do all of it now. We are here to publicly attest, to recommit ourselves, both management, board, staff, and students of UBTH, to say the founding vision of UBTH will be actualized in our generation. On this note, I want to say welcome and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I request a warm welcome for our performing administrator per excellence, the Chief Medical Director of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Professor Darlington Obaseki. Can the applause be sustained? And his very dear wife, Mrs. Chigozie Obaseki. Can we warmly make them welcome? I also like to warmly welcome the chairman of the committees of CMDs of the Federation, who also is the CMD of the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Professor M.M. Bassi, together with all their colleagues, the CMDs, over 60 of them. Can we please show them some love? Thank you for coming to Benin City. Today, ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker for today's event, a man of many parts, the chairman of Sterling Bank, the non-executive director of the Nigerian Breweries PLC, ladies and gentlemen, a son of Edo, Aswe Igodalo Esquire. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for being here. Professor Mrs. Adesu Usamo. We welcome you, Professor Wilson Sado, Mrs. Morenica Alex Toko, Dr. Peter Edwakine, and Dr. Wogien Emmanuel. The patrons, James Osaze Urelu is my name, and with me as co-host for today's events, I'd like you to meet my colleagues.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I want to continue from where my colleagues stopped. My name is Greg Okobo, and at this time, I want to recognize the former.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I request that we be upstanding to welcome the former head of states of our great country and chairman of this occasion, His Excellency, retired General Dr. Yakubu Gowon, and his dear wife, Excellency Mrs. Victoria Gowon, who did the tape cutting 50 years ago. Can we make some noise? 50 years after Mrs. Victoria Gowon is back to the same venue, back to the same place, but this time not to cut any tape, but to sit as a wife of the chairman of the occasion on the golden jubilee of the mustard of yesterday that has become an Iroko tree. Can we make them warmly welcome again? You may please resume your seats. Also with me as co-host for today's event, I'd like her to also introduce herself. Ladies and gentlemen, meet her. 50 years ago, the tape was cut to commission the University of Benin Teaching Hospital by Excellency, the ever beautiful Mrs. Victoria Gowon. 50 years after, she is present here to see how that seed of yesteryears has become a pride of the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give her another round of applause again? The Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu. Can you please make him welcome with rounds of applause? He's here in his own rights, and I've just been told that he's advancing ahead. His boss and senior brother, Mr. Governor, is already scheduled to join us shortly, and so we'll let the music play on. Can we make some noise? Lot of music played for His Excellency as it goes around to exchange pleasantries. And once His Excellency gets to his seat, we will officially re-establish the protocol.
I don't get a lot to God, and I don't want to God. I don't give my house to God, and I don't get a lot to God. I said, anything I do not God, no, not God, no, not God, anything I do not God, no, not God, no, not God, I don't get a lot to God.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, the technocrat in power, looked at his time and then immediately called the CMD and said, I'm running late, let the program start. And immediately we obeyed.
We want to respectfully at this point, we'll be inviting the man of the moment. He is the superstar of today. I don't know about you. He is the golden man. I don't know how many of you have CMDs. Me, I have the CMD. Others have CMDs. But me, in UBTH, I have the CMD. If you have the CMD, I don't know if your CMD is dependable. If you have a CMD, I don't know if your CMD is an achiever. If you have a CMD, I don't know if your CMD is resourceful. And if you have a CMD, is your CMD laudable? Somebody answer me. Is your CMD indefatigable? Is your CMD a man of his words, notable for his actions? Is your CMD gracious? Somebody answer me. I have a CMD that is tenacious, and this CMD is never tiring. It's a man full of ginger, a man full of vibe. UBTA staff, are you in the house? I am inviting my CMD to the microphone, and you are still seated. There is an error. Can we please be upstanding? Even as I invite to the microphone for his welcome address, the man of the moment, Professor Darlington M.Y. Obaseki. Mr. CMD, sir, you are welcome to the microphone.
Thank you. Please, let's be seated. Thank you. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by our own Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Ihianire, the Executive Governor of Edo State, my senior brother, my mentor, Mr. Godwin Norgas Obaseki, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, my football partner and twin striker, Comrade Philip Shaibu, the chairman of the occasion, General Dr. Yakubu Gowon. We've called on him twice. 5 years ago, we called on him and he obliged us, together with his very lovely wife, Mrs. Victoria Gowon. So we really appreciate it. We don't take this gesture for granted. The chairman of the board of UBTH, the man that has given UBTH stability in the past 6 years, a man of wisdom, Bashoru Adedoja Adewolu MFRO. Yomoloba Nedu Oku Apolopolo, Oba Ewa Logidigan II, the Oba of Benin, ably represented by Chief, the Bazwaye of Benin Kingdom, and Chief Olian. There are other Royal Highness, their Royal Highness is present here. The Vice Chancellor of University of Benin, who is my employer. I'm still a lecturer at University of Benin. I'm just on leave, so I have to recognize her quickly. Professor Lilian Salami, thank you, ma'am, for coming with your whole management team. We are very privileged to have 40 chief medical directors from all over the country present here today. So let me recognize the chairman of the committee, a proud alumnus of UBTH Unibe, Dr. Professor M.M. Basi, CMD, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Our guest speaker, bringing me here, I wouldn't say it was very difficult, but those of you that don't know him, he's the chairman of Stanley Bank, chairman of Nigerian Breweries, an industry titan, a boardroom guru. He will be the one talking to us about the very topical issue. How do we pay for healthcare? Barrister Aiswa Iwodalo. Thank you, sir. Heads of departments of UBTH present here, senior professors, former CMDs, members of staff, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start this address with a story. 1969. It was early 1969 when a man, a very tall, dark man, Nigeria has barely settled from the civil war. He embarked on a journey to Lagos, to the Island Maternity Hospital. That day, he met a senior specialist there who took him around the hospital. In the evening, they went to Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Remember, this is 1969. That man, then Colonel Samuel Bermuda, by the time he came back, he said, no, in this whole region, this whole axis, there was no access to specialist care. He immediately set up a formal panel to ensure that indigenes of the Midwest region, or Midwest state as it was then known, have access to what they call the final court of appeal in medical issues. That's the journey that started that committee. The man that he met at Lagos Island Maternity Hospital then, Professor Bello, then Dr. Bello Tiamiyu Osaide, Dr. Tiamiyu Bello Osaide, he lured him back to Benin and said, you have to do this. We want to have a hospital like Lagos University Teaching Hospital, like UCH, but better. He said he wanted it, but better. And the chairman of that committee, Professor Jeremy Thomas, was the chairman of that committee, and he worked very assiduously. A bit of history. This hospital was built. Federal government of the day, led by our very amiable General Yakubu Gowon, gave a grant of 1 million naira then. So 25% of the cost of building, or 20%, came from the federal government. So I want to thank you, sir, for that wonderful gesture. Since then, this hospital has fulfilled its founding mandate, which is to provide specialist services to indigenes of this state, which is to train manpower, healthcare workforce for the Nigerian health space, which is to pioneer cutting-edge research into medical issues. And as of today, we stand tall, the Committee of Hospitals in Nigeria, to say we are a very functional hospital. We are a very busy hospital. Every day, more than 1,100 patients are seen in our outpatient clinic as of today. Every day, we attend to more than 58 emergencies. Every day, we admit more than 80 patients. Every month, more than 80-something hospitals, other hospitals refer patients here. It's a very busy hospital, it's a very functional hospital, and it's a pride of Edo State and indeed Nigeria. We have pioneered so many. I'm not yet to list a litany of our achievements, no, but you know some of them. Still the only hospital in the sub-Saharan Africa to have attempted and succeeded in doing stem cell transplantation. The only hospital. the only hospital, the first hospital to start IVF, first public hospital to start in vitro fertilization in Nigeria. The first hospital, public hospital in Nigeria to start what we call lithotripsy. We are capable of doing endoscopic surgeries now, minimal access surgery, both neurosurgical ones, endoscopic sinus surgeries, maybe far from where we ought to be. Because when General Samuel Gbemudia and Professor Tiami Bello Sagi set up this hospital, the vision was a medical hub of excellence for the whole West African region. That was the vision. I wouldn't say we have yet fulfilled that vision. We do know that as we speak, a lot of our citizens are still accessing care outside Nigeria. That is supposed to be our responsibility. So we are challenged by this. So as we celebrate today, I said it during the dinner 2 days ago, there's a reason why we celebrate. Why do couples have to do big weddings when they want to get married? Why can't they just say, take the children, enter the house and start saying they are married? Because to give a public attestation of a commitment, of an avowal that you will do what you say you will do. And that is why we are celebrating today. We are here to publicly attest, to recommit ourselves, both management, board, staff, and students of UBTH, to say the founding vision of UBTH will be actualized in our generation. On this note, I want to say welcome and thank you.
I was expecting an astounding applause for this great man. The golden CMD. And if the CMD has done well, can I request a round of applause for his dear wife, Mrs. Chigozie Obaseki. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, Your Royal Highnesses, very distinguished guests, it is my singular honor at this point to invite the chairman of the board of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. He is the Otum of our kingdom, the first Emperor of Ekbaland, the chairman of the board of trustees, Institute of Health Service Administrators of Nigeria, a man of culture, a boardroom guru, Basharum Adedoda Adewolu MFR. Chairman of the board, UBTH. Can an applause be sustained for Basharum?
I want to thank God for this opportunity. Today is a unique, great day in the history of Nigeria at UBTH. I want to thank God for the grace that I have. When 52 years ago I started working in Nigeria, I was in Gusasa Saria, and of course I was with the family of our chairman of today, Dr. Yakubu Gowon Isefah, and his neighbor wife. I thank God for the foundation that it is. And I want to thank God for the opportunity that I have able board members that are eminent. But let me say, I stand on the protocol that is established by my CMD, who is a man of decision. He's a lucky man and is the best any medical director or any hospital can have. Honorable Minister, thank you for accepting our report to give him a second time. He deserves it. No medical director in Nigeria, I can say it authority because I know all of them, can do what he has done. To have all 52 CMD in the ground from 9th of May to 11, and have the alumni of the University of Ibadan of Benin at the same time having this grand occasion. I want to congratulate him and I thank you for a job well done. You have not disappointed us. I want to thank God for the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, and his able, capable secretary for making me the chairman of this board at this particular time
and giving me eminent members. They are all here. They are all eminent in their time. I have here Professor Innocent Uja, who is the former immediate past president of NMA and the current Vice Chancellor of Medical University of Ofubo, I have representing public interest, Dr. Paul, who is also here. I have also Paula Webber, who is also, and of course, Dr. Alaji Ali Wamako, who is the current president of FDJ. And of course, all these people are eminent people. We have on our board the representative of the University of Benin. The Vice Chancellor, I thank you for giving us that able people that help us. For the first time in history, University of Benin and UBJ are doing very well together. They have started building on the site of University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Vice Chancellor, thank you very much for taking care. Of course, Your Royal Majesty, and Baba, the luckiest one today, the father of our medical director. I thank God for having you here in your lifetime. Your God is showing you mercy. The last time your son came to Abeokuta, I took him to the Obasanjo, and the Obasanjo remembered you and thanked him, and I'm happy. Your son is making you proud. Today, you'll be the happiest father, because I can tell you, nobody has done as much as this young man has done. Let me say, I have today history to tell. The first chief medical director of this hospital was a great man, a fantastic psychiatrist, one of the best brains Nigeria ever produced, Professor K.C. Ebi. He was a commissioner. He was the first chief medical director, and he was the first professor to be the chairman of all the psychiatric hospitals in Nigeria, and the first professor to head the WHO Respiratory Center in Naro. And his dear wife is here, Mrs. Eunice Ebi, and the son is also here. He laid the foundation for what we are doing today, and I want to thank God that we are keeping the thing. As Minister have said in his speech, when you read the speech of the minister, you will know that in Nigeria today, even in West Africa, no health institution can surpass what UBJ has done. Before our board came into existence, there were court cases in UBJ, overseas staff are going to court and things. And when we came in, the first thing we do was to tap the best brain among the staff. And today, there's unity, there's progress, there's of course loyalty among the staff. UBJ staff, wherever you are, shout and say thank you, my CMD. Here, who even started earlier with us. I have Dr. Fred Ohumina, who was also a president of the ABA. I have Dr. Professor Ayo Dimichi, the CMD that used to write us to come to work in UBJ. They laid the foundation. And of course, all the staff of UBJ, they are all doing very well. I want to thank God that before we came, there was the ceremony and thing. Today there was. Today, UBGH is doing the best thing. The CMD that can have all the CMDs, all the alumni of the University of Benin, all that budget and things, to come and see what they have done, the project they have provided for us, not only in UBJ, in Irua and the Selu Psychiatric Hospital. Honorable Minister, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to do what the law asks us to do, to manage UGH and to lay example. We have committee of chairmen that you know. We are over 52 chairmen of teaching and specialist hospitals. The Minister of State's father died, many of them are going there. But we have to be here because UBJ means so much to the nation. We have set the standard. Even right now, UCH, we used to be in the forefront. And look, we used to be the best. They are all looking for what we are doing to do
UBTA. We are very grateful. We thank all our fathers, and of course I have our leaders in the community of God, and God is using you. Continue to pray for this year. Continue to pray for Nigeria. Baba, I recognize and thank you and all the people. I thank God for this opportunity to make this remark. I thank God because in Yoruba, humanity go back to when your masculine is performing very well, you'll be too well. Dr. Professor Obaseki and his team, they have been extremely good, and the board of management have given them 100% support. We are very grateful. We thank you for this opportunity.
Another applause be sustained for Basharoon. Thank you very much. 50 years ago, in the heart of the South region, stands a hospital of great repute. 50 years of service and dedication, a place where lives are saved each day. The University of Benin has come of age. If it were to be a Nigerian public servant, the UBTA would have had 10 more years to retire. But indeed, the agenda for another 50 years is already created. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to invite His Excellency the Chairman of this occasion to give his opening remarks. General Dr. Yakubu Gowon, GCFR, former head of states, whose wife, Her Excellency Mrs. Victoria Gowon, being a Tape Cottage. His Excellency will speak from his table, except he doesn't mind. Oh, awesome! He's ever strong, still able to do all that he needs to do. You know, once a general is always a general. Can we put our hands together for the most brave general, the chairman Nigerian praise, His Excellency General Dr. Yakubu Gowon, GCFR. Thank you, Your Excellency.
I say, well. What a day and what a gathering. Will have been saved the problem of retinue of protocol. If only I've got to obey the protocol set by the CMD and also the chairman, of the management committee. I think I recognize each and every one of you, but you've got to allow me, to recognize His Excellency the Governor of Edo State, one of the great Obasekis, and also his Deputy Governor, whom, I knew years ago, and he did me a favor by offering his seat on one of the airlines that were flying into from Abuja, to Benin, and the top seat was already taken, and I had to go and sit right at the back of at the middle of the seat, because I have to be in Benin that day. And when I went to sit down, some ladies who were sitting by that side said, no, I cannot sit there. So I said, you don't want me to sit next to you? Why not? But then all of a sudden, this young man, left his top seat, the first seat, and came down and said to me, no, I think you've got to go to the front. I said, no, I'm quite happy here, but I've been rejected by the ladies that I was sitting, he was going to sit with. But he insisted. I did not know that he was then even the deputy governor of Edo State. Well done. And honestly, I appreciated him since then. And I'm really absolutely surprised that he's still, but are you still the deputy governor? So there you are. So he is only the person who is deputy governor for almost it will be 16 years when we finish. Well, so if I can really abide by the protocols already set behind, but let me say that I recognize each and every one of you in your position and rank. And I can assure you, everyone that is here is important, and especially the family of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Greetings to you all for your 50th year, your Golden Jubilee. Thank you. Well, 50 years ago, you did us the honor of commissioning this hospital by my darling wife, Mrs. Victoria Gowan. I think she is there. If you don't know her, she's still there. I think she still looks like the photographs I see as we're coming. And I was her consort. And today, 50 years later, you are honoring us with me as chairman to celebrate your Golden Jubilee with my darling wife now as my consort. Thank you for the double honor, and we say happy anniversary and Golden Jubilee. Many happy returns of the day to all of you of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. God bless you all. And what a day, and what an organization that has been made. In this tent, we are all here to celebrate this great occasion. And we have heard already from the CMD and also from the chairman of the management board what this university has been and what they have achieved over the years. So my speech is not going to touch on anything on their achievement. I think you will hear more of it later. But I thank them for what they have told us about the University of Benin since 50 years ago. And what a wonderful job from the CMD and his chairman are doing. And when the chairman was talking about saying that Benin was the best one, my wife said to me, I think he's forgotten Ibadan because he comes from Ibadan. Well, this is a significant milestone, not only for the hospital, but for Edo State, or let me say, for the old Midwest, Edo and Delta now, isn't it? But this is not only for Edo State, but for the entire nation, as UBTH has been a cornerstone of healthcare delivery in Nigeria since its inception. As we look back over the past 5 decades, we can take pride in the tremendous progress that has been made in healthcare in Nigeria, and University of Benin Teaching Hospital has been one in the forefront of this progress, providing world-class medical care to Nigerians and training the next generation of healthcare professionals. I have a personal connection to UBTH. Well, I think I've heard that I made a contribution, but a meager contribution to the building of this hospital. But as my wife was privileged to officially commission this great institution on the 12th of May 1973, 50 years ago, when I was head of state of Nigeria, I can assure you, I can tell you the efforts of the governor then, Obamudia, and also that famous Dr. Bello Osagi. So I'm proud to see that UBTH has met and exceeded our expectations and has become a beacon of hope for the sick and the suffering. Today, I want to express my gratitude to all the healthcare workers, administrators, and management of this institution who have worked tirelessly over the years to make the UBTH what it has been and what it is today and what it will be in the future. Your dedication, professionalism, and compassion have saved countless lives and made a significant difference in the lives of many Nigerians. I also want to thank the successive governments of Nigeria and the people of Edo State and all Midwest states support and investment in the UBTH. Your commitment to the hospital has been unwavering, and I am confident affordable and equitable for all. Let us continue to invest in our healthcare infrastructure, train more healthcare professionals, and provide the necessary resources to ensure that Nigerians have access to the best medical care possible. And in this regard, I think I'd like to say thank you to the Honorable Minister for Health, Federal Minister for Health, Professor Onhere, for the support that you've been able to give to this. So let me also now congratulate the management of this university teaching hospital and all the staff of this teaching hospital. May I congratulate you on your 50th anniversary and wish you continued success in years ahead. Thank you for allowing my wife and I to always be a part of you at all your major celebrations. And I hope and pray for greater achievements by you in the future. God bless you all, and I thank all of you for coming to this celebration today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, and thank you. Quickly, we have agreed that today is a day of celebration. a very memorable day in the history of Edo State and in the history of Nigeria as a nation. Right from the cradle, we are actually starting from the cradle. They are already here waiting to show us what stuff they are made of. UBTH Primary School, please, you can take the stage now.
A good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Umaime Franco. With the pupils of UBTH staff, nursery and primary school, I yet present a performance to mark the 50th anniversary of UBTH. It's UBTH at 50. Today, we celebrate 5 glorious decades on the wheels of healthcare delivery, committed to bringing safe hands for ailing souls and putting smiles on the faces of humanity. Today, we celebrate 50 golden years, committed to our core values, anchored in respect for the sacredness of life, and driven by a desire for excellence. Today, we celebrate a half-century of efficiency, littered with tales of medical miracles that has made us a better than the medical arena. Today, we celebrate a 2-10, and to re-emphasize again, that's in UBTH. We value life, we truly care, we respect people, and we strive for excellence. Thank you.
UBTH, awesome. Oh, what acts? Yeah. We respect people.
We strive for excellence.
Alright, go.
Take that to the laborers of love and vital signs. I was in UBTH. The day was 12th May. I went to see a friend and found it Founders Day. I found it was the 50th anniversary. I asked, does it core values teach me anything? Yes, it does. I found it is an active establishment that runs like a machine. It cares even when it's unseen and calm when situations are critical. It carries qualities that are so diverse. Its attitude is always, let's care cause we value. There was a wonderful smile. Cheers to the years we've been together. Cheers to the journey so far. Cheers to the love and loyalty that binds us together. Let's give 5 hearty cheers for all our achievements. Let's be grateful for all we have and work towards a brighter future. By the way, my name is Ekosue Love.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please stand up to give 5 hearty cheers? To mark the 50th anniversary of UBTH, each chair represents a decade. Hip hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip hip! Hooray! Hip 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 hip! Hooray! It's UBTH at 50!
they have been born into an environment of excellence. Can we please applaud them once again? I am a proud UBTH born. Some years back, proudly, I was given birth to in this great institution. I had the opportunity of training in this institution, and today I am giving back to this institution in service. Can you please appreciate me also? Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Quickly, the paramedics, they are also being trained in UBTH. They are coming up next with their own presentation. Paramedics, you have just 2 minutes. Thank you.
A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to please stand on the already existing protocols. My name is Paramedic Ikine Austin Jr. Today we are going to be watching a drill scenario by the paramedics of the Great University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we are celebrating UBTH at 50. It will interest you to know that UBTH is the only federal health tertiary institution that is training paramedics in Nigeria. I expect a round of applause to the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. And we're not just training paramedics, we're training paramedics of global standards who have represented this hospital in various states in the country and across the globe. That is a plus to us. So today we're going to be doing a drill scenario from one of the numerous trauma scenarios that happens in Nigeria. Please, may I quickly warn that some of the scenes you will be seeing here today might not be pleasant to the eyes, so viewers' discretion is advised. So what we have here now is Oceanic Bar. This is at Oceanic Bar along the Benin-Lagos Expressway here in Benin City, Edo State. And then if you look closely, you will see the owner of the bar, Madam Oceanic, okay, attending diligently to her customers. She has customers, her bar is moving very well. For those of us who are very conversant in visiting bars in Benin, you understand that these are one of the scenes you get to see. These men are taking their orders: barbecue fish, ukodo, goldberg, Heineken, and what have you. You can add the rest to it. Now coming on scene is a young man dressed in a very suspicious look, inviting one of the beer attendees to come outside, and we would like to watch with keen interest what is happening right about now. There's an argument going on here and we really don't understand. Oh, typically he makes a call and then this fierce looking man from nowhere comes into the scene, harassing the customers, and you know, and then different things are going on here. Different things are going on here. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen one of the victims. We have two victims on ground right about now. We have two victims right now on the ground. If you look closely, you will see there's an evisceration of the intestine caused by a wound stab, a stab wound to the stomach. And you can see the bystanders. Yes, hello, good afternoon. Yes, this is the UBTH emergency services. How may I be of help? Madam, please, can you come down and talk to me? What is the problem? Somebody has been stabbed. Where? Can you give me the exact location, please? Ukbo, Lagos Road. Please, I will need you to come down and stay briefly away from the patient. The paramedics will be there with you in the next couple of minutes. At this point now, we are routing a call directly to the receiving center, and then from the receiving center to the ambulance. Please, may I have the paramedics from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital Accident and Emergency respond immediately at Oceanic Bar. I need the paramedics on scene right now. Before then, this is already a crime scene, so we have invited the Nigerian Police Force from Ugbo Division. Police officers are here on scene
to ensure that hoodlums stay away from it. The scene doesn't get crowded by unexpected persons. Now, there's this lady that is of interest here. She's a social media influencer. You can see what she's trying to do, trying to take video shots for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and what have you. This is one of the typical scenarios we see in events like this. Rather than people coming to help, what they do is they make videos, they make Snapchats and what have you, just to fill the public on social media. Now we have the paramedics already attending to them. Now this is more critical because there's an evisceration of the intestine and there's a whole lot of critical care that's going to be given to this patient. Now the paramedics are here with their scoop spine board. We have the multi-parameter monitor. This patient is being placed on a face mask, and the other patient there sustained head injury as a result from the hit with the stick. So there's laceration on the head, and there's a paramedic doing justice to that other patient. Of course, you can see the presence of the Nigerian police force on scene. So this is to tell you that for cases like this, we have multi-agencies who come to respond to cases like this. We have the police and of course the paramedics doing justice to that. Now, of course, Mama Oshenik is so aggravated right now. She's very aggrieved. Her bar has just been disabled. So that is her. And then the lady crying on the floor. From information I got that her wedding is next 2 weeks, and that is her boyfriend or her fiancé who was stabbed. And to her wedding was hold this year. How true that will be, we'll find out at the end of the day. Now the paramedic, what he's doing right now, he's trying to irrigate the already eviscerated intestines. So now he's going to do a clean pack of those intestines. Remember, paramedics are properly trained medical healthcare personnel who attend to different forms of emergencies, traumatic and medical emergencies, out of the hospital and transport to the designated facility. Now, of course, an IV access has already been instituted. This patient is receiving fluids because of the loss of blood. I can see 500 ml normal saline set already. 2 white ball cannulas going on this patient. Now the other patient is not left behind. He's also attended to. He's receiving medical care. Already he has the wound dressed and the bandage cleanly. He has an IV access already on. Alright, now you see the paramedic doing the head-to-toe examination of this same patient, ensuring that there are no other injuries sustained so he can continue. While that is ongoing, the patient's vital signs are being monitored: blood pressure, temperature, oxygen saturation. Of course, the patient is on oxygen right now. So now time is of the essence in this kind of care. In as much as we want to make sure that we attend to this patient, we have to think of when next this patient is moving and how to move this patient very fast. And that is exactly what the paramedics are about to do. Now, in things like this, we have some of these policemen assist in 1 or 2 things. Remember I said earlier, it's a multi-agency approach. So we intend to train paramedics, police officers, soldiers, and what have you on basic life support, because there are 1 or 2 areas or 1 or 2 roles they have to play in such care. Now, the paramedics are going to do what we call a modified log roll. They're going to do a modified log roll. They're going to move this patient to a spine board. Okay, this patient is going to go into the spine board. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see this is a very swift one. This is a very swift one, and it entails a whole lot of training and a whole lot of exercise. Now, the patient is safely on the spine board. Patient is safely on the spine board. The normal saline is still running. Patient still has O2. Patient's vital signs is constantly being monitored. And of course, the next point of call is to move this patient as fast as possible to the University of Benin Teaching Hospital Emergency Department. At this point, this is another critical area here in patient care, lifting and moving of patients. So this patient has to be systematically moved and taken out to the hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the patient being moved. And this is one of the numerous care we give at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Can we please applaud them?
Yes, let's take a bow, please.
Our Center of Excellence, the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Here we came. You can see how much we value lives. The elders have given their own testimony of how we respect them and continuously we strive for excellence. Thank you, our paramedics. This is just the first aid part of UBTH, and when we get to the core, only you will testify to what is capable and possible in UBTH.
Can we put our hands together for them? At this point, we're going to observe some traditional protocols. With the permission of His Excellency, the traditional breaking of kola nuts, earlier scheduled for the opening formalities, will now have it. Agasore do edu odion. Edo na be sogoma. Was Obanyato Kimaya Sewebo. And the kola nut will be presented to the palace chiefs from the palace of His Royal Majesty Omanoba Nedo Ugwa Polopolo Oba Ewa the second Ogidiga. The Aboriginal Opening Kingdom Chief Henry Usato Baswaye.
Anyway, a very marriage UBTH and that's my auntie. Now we prayers Yeva. Kate no one no do here. We miss our a government of the man. We miss a woman yellow if you a deputy governor who are coming to that, but if I put on the Professor Obaseki
In order for us to build a resilient and sustainable healthcare system, emphasis must now be focused on health financing. Government alone can no longer carry the bulk of the cost of providing healthcare services, particularly when you note that there are now more private providers of healthcare services than public providers like UBTH. This is why we in Edo State have established a compulsory health insurance scheme. In addition, just as General Gowon pointed out in his speech, we are investing in infrastructure and strengthening our primary health network, our primary healthcare network, while improving the institutions where we train our healthcare personnel, like our nursing schools and our schools for medical health technology. Core to our healthcare strategy in Edo State is to emphasize our key function as a government, which is to regulate the healthcare system and the practitioners of the healthcare system in Edo State. These activities will go a long way to help strengthen the structure of healthcare in Edo, and while we take advantage of the existence of UBTH as the foremost research and training healthcare institution in this area. Finally, I want to applaud the management and staff of UBTH for their services over the past half century, and hope that working closely together, we will achieve our aspiration of becoming the main hub for medical tourism before the next 50 years. On behalf of the government and people of Edo State, I congratulate the University of Benin Teaching Hospital on your 50th anniversary and Golden Jubilee. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, can that applause be sustained as we give a standing ovation to His Excellency, the People's Governor of Edo State, Godwin Nolega-Setua Obaseki, our performing governor. Thank you, Your Excellency. May I invite Dr. Okomodo to please bring the first batch of award recipients so His Excellency can help us do that before he attends to other state functions. We'll take it in batches so we don't have a long segment at that point. We're going to have several categories of very distinguished Nigerians that have served and deserve to be appreciated on a day like this. Can we quickly get done with that award? The first batch, so that Mr. Governor can help us present to them. But it's also instructive to note that this institution is one of the very best. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to do something. I'd like Our Excellency Mrs. Victoria Gowon to look at this man. Mommy, can you remember this plate? This was the souvenir you gave to all who attended the ceremony 50 years ago. Have a look. And then you may wish to read what was there at that time, man. And somebody still have this. If you were here at that time and you still have your home, we are going to auction it. It's going for millions now. But this one cannot receive the million because there's a cellophane covering it because it is broken. We're going to have a mimic of that now. 50 years after, can you see what it has eventually become? Please come with me. Mommy, we have to follow the prototype of what you did so we don't deviate. Do you endorse that this be given out? Please, a round of applause for our affirmation. You gave us this that time, we are giving you this one today. 50 years after, can we put our hands together for her? And now we're going to bring, just have a look. No, you don't touch it. It's $1 million. The next person to receive the souvenir for today will be His Excellency, Mr. Governor. The People's Governor, the face of good governance in Edo, Godwin Nolega-Setua Obaseki. Thank you for being here. We'll also present next to His Excellency, the Digital Deputy Governor of Edo State and the most loyal Deputy Governor in Africa. Please present over to His Excellency, the Right Honorable Comrade, Philip Shaibu. We next present to the Honorable Minister for Health, a son of Edo in whom we are very well placed, Dr. Saige Ehanire. Basharum, the chairman of the board, will also get ease. And then if we go around to everybody on that table, the guest speaker will also be getting one, the Secretary to the Government of Edo State, the Chairman of Committees of CMDs of the Federation. And remember that, my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Edo State, the Honorable Justice Joey Sebaga Acha is represented by the Honorable Justice Efe Ipomoba. Your Excellency, it is a very distinguished honor to please invite you to help us present this first batch of award plaque. And the first one, this plaque is awarded in memory of Professor Tamui Bello Saige, the pioneer provost and medical director of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, as a token of our appreciation and gratitude. It is here a member of his family to come and receive this. And the other plaque will be in memory of Dr. Mrs. Irene Igodaro, the pioneer UBTH board chairman. Can we applaud them, please? Once they are ready, please step forward so I can invite His Excellency to present. They will all be here. Please come. Thank you. Mr. Governor, thank you very much. So all of that will happen in the front view of everyone. So this podium we have to give way. Dr. Mrs. Igodaro, the daughter is here. Professor Yika Morbe, SAN. Can we invite the family of Professor T. Bello Saige? Anyone present? Oh, the governor will collect from him. So may I invite the CMD to also join in presenting this to the son of Professor T. Bello Saige, our dear governor. Can you put your hands together for that? The next is the Pioneer House Governor, Mr. Frank Imohuome. Any of him or his representative present here? Please, can you step forward? Thank you very much. Can we have the next batch? Quickly, Mr. Governor is about to leave us now. There are so many state functions to attend to. Just open and bring, please. Mr. Frank Imohuome, or any of his representatives. Oh, he's here. His Excellency, they have to step down. He's a very senior citizen. Can we applaud him, please? The Pioneer House Governor. We next will invite the Pioneer CMDs. You're okay here, sir. Thank you very much and congratulations. Pioneer CMDs, may I first invite Professor Jesse Ebie or any of his representatives to please step up stage. The amiable wife is here. Can we invite her please to come up stage? Can the ushers please clear the way for her? She's right behind you. Thank you so much. And the next recipient to also come up stage, Professor A.U. Oronsaye. Member of his family, please come. That's the mother of the immediate past Secretary to Government of Delta State, Chedo Ebie. Please applaud her. We next invite the family of Professor A.U. Oronsaye to please step forward. Any member of the family present? Okay, let's have the next one. Professor Austin O. Opasoma, former CMD, UBTH, physically present here. Please a round of applause for him. The cardio specialist per excellence. The next, our father, elder statesman, Professor E.E. Okpere, former Chief Medical Director, UBTK. Give me the hand, please. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. Your legacy lives on. also invite, can that applause sustain Professor Iji Okpere? Thank you very much, Professor M.O. Ibadi. Any member of the family, please step forward. Professor Michael Okegwale Ibadi. Thank you, Your Excellency. You may resume your seat. A round of applause for our performing governor. The ceremony continues, and we'd like now to present to the representatives of His Royal Majesty Omonoba Nedo Ugwuagbolokpolo, and of course first to the representative of the Chief Judge, my Lord, the Honorable Justice George Sabaga Acha, represented by my Lord, the Honorable Justice F.A. Ikpamova. And next will be for the Olia Opening Kingdom, who is also on the entourage representing the palace. And then to the representative of the Olu of Wari. The Olu of Wari. Dr. Jackson Giles Obasaki, thank you very, very much. So, until that is ready, yes, we'll get it across to you.
We are still appreciating all those who have contributed immensely to what we are seeing here today. We appreciate each and every one of us. We are also contributors to the success story called UBTH.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, so we don't keep you longer than necessary, it is my singular honor to invite to deliver his address the Honorable Minister for Health of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Osagie Ihanire, our son of Edo. Can we make the applause resounding for an ambassador of Edo that is doing well at the federal level? Domo, sir.
Very much, Master of Ceremony. I shall stand on established protocol, but must recognize the host of this institution here, who is the governor of Edo State, and also the major stakeholder of this hospital. I must also recognize the chairman of the occasion, General Yakubu Gowon. It has been mentioned many times that he facilitated the existence of this hospital. And if you look well enough, I'm sure you'll find that somewhere he had to sign a document that allowed all this to happen. And without signing that document, we will not be here today. I must also recognize the former First Lady, Mrs. Victoria Gowon, who cut the tape. Now, cut the tape looks simple, but it is symbolic because it means I'm opening the door for you to come in. If that tape were not cut, this place would not be here. All of us would not be here. And of course, I want to recognize the representatives of the Oba of Benin and of the Olu of Wari. I also definitely want to recognize the chief medical directors of the 50 or so hospitals. This is the first time they've all gathered to join one of their peers in celebrating an event. And also to mention that some of them are alumni of this university and of this hospital. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I recognize all of us who are here present today. And of course, not the least, the Vice Chancellor of the affiliated university, the University of Benin, which works hand in hand with UBTH. So I'm delighted to join and welcome you all to this
special location in Benin City as we join the management and staff of the University Teaching Hospital in celebrating the 50th anniversary of the founding of this institution. I must pay special tribute to the leadership, the members of management, and express appreciation to all those who from the past and present have served here and are part of the remarkable work done over the past 50 years to build and sustain the level of excellence and reputation of this institution. We must specifically celebrate those who founded the first medical school here in Midwest State, in the then Midwest State. I'm talking about late Brigadier General Kodudia, and as I mentioned, Professors ABA, Professor Pedro Sagia, and Dr. Mrs. Irene Daro. And they set up this teaching hospital to support the medical school, as well as all those who actually have pioneered operations here in UBTH and took it through what must have been very difficult first years of its existence. UBTH is the public health sector's oldest and arguably best asset in the South-South zone of Nigeria, and has been a cradle of quality education for medical doctors and nurses, as well as a regional referral and treatment center for other health facilities right from its inception. I recognize that medical directors and chief medical directors of federal hospitals who are currently at the meeting here in Benin for their annual conference, which was organized to coincide with this event, have among their ranks very well-established alumni of this hospital. The strategic location of UBTH, about halfway between the eastern border and the western border of Nigeria, and also in Benin City as a gateway to the Niger Delta region, gives this hospital a central role in a national strategy to build a resilient health system by ensuring the availability of critical services within reasonable travel distance. The UBTH has, over and beyond that, begun to profile itself as a major center of excellence and is building up its own reputation in cancer treatment. Very soon they'll be getting more assets for cancer treatment and radiation. And they are also now the Center of Excellence for South-South sickle cell anemia, and they are also profiling themselves as a center for bone marrow transplant. Again, I commend them for their program to train paramedics and medical personnel of all other persuasions. A strong and resilient health system is the first and best line of defense against pandemics and public health challenges. Like other tertiary hospitals, UBTH played an important role in our fight against COVID-19, which was no respecter of either strong or weak health systems. Efforts to contain its various waves are among the most notable health interventions undertaken by the government of Nigeria and within the health sector. And our institution served as a driving force ensuring quality and efficiency in testing and treatment in that very trying period. Tertiary hospitals also benefited from large-scale government investment to revamp infrastructure with additions like isolation centers and treatment centers, intensive care units, new PSA oxygen plants, and other interventions, of which to mention a few will be training of relevant health workers, which has been accelerated in that period, setting up of over 145 biosafety level 3 laboratories in the country at the moment. Every teaching hospital has one. And the construction of these intensive care units that are dedicated to infectious diseases, the scaling up of oxygen supply throughout the Federation for oxygen sufficiency with liquid oxygen tanks. Some of them are already standing, others are on their way. And also in many cases, improvement of oxygen delivery through facility piping. We also revitalized many old oxygen plants in select tertiary institutions in Nigeria. And we imported over 21,000 oxygen cylinders, which have been distributed to all states. As a number of federal in the primary health care sectors, which will reduce the workload and increase the efficiency of tertiary areas. After universal health coverage, it will be the continuous scaling up of quality of care across the board, from primary to tertiary. The construction of specialty hospitals that deal with particular problems. And in this regard, I would like Dr. Just this service is supposed to be institutionalized and to work not only for injuries and accidents, but also for any kind of ailment, whether they are obstetric or any kind of emergency at all that threatens life, that you can respond by just dialing one number, 112. In conducting the health sector reform, wide consultations were part of developing the reforms, and they will be integral to their implementation. I want to say that tertiary health hospitals were represented by a member of staff of UBTH at the health sector reform meeting, who went by our grandfather's first name, Ighodaro. And remarkably, he was Western Region's Minister of Health in the Awolowo government, and so preceded me in holding such public office. Dr. Irene Ighodaro was my alternate mother all the 7 years I attended Government College Ibadan. And I thank all those who honored her by giving her that post. And I want to use the opportunity to thank all visitors and stakeholders, the various heads of federal institutions who are here, and who hosted me yesterday also to dinner. I urge you all to keep to the vision of the pioneers, and to remember that even 50 years in the history of an institution of this nature is a short time. This is a short time in history. There are hospitals who have been struggling for hundreds of years and making progress, and those are the ones we want you to emulate. We must ensure and sustain constant improvement in healthcare as a continuous exercise. Under no condition are you finished with developing. It's a continuous process, and in 10 years' time, everything you have should be different from what you have now. It should be better, faster, and easier and more comfortable. The Federal Ministry of Health pledges to support your efforts for just and equitable health as a common legacy where no one is left behind. I thank you all for your attention.
Before you sit down, sir, you will help us make some presentations. Thank you very much. His Excellency General Dr. Yakubu Gowon will just step forward here and receive because of the cameras. Thank you, sir. And next, will be Her Excellency Mrs. Victoria Gowon, our former First Lady. Thank you very much, sir. Can we put our hands together for this visionary leader that blessed the South with a hospital like this? When our son and brother, General Dr. Samuel Osai Bobo Obemudia was military governor, that he assigned to the Midwest states. We also would like to invite the Honorable Minister to present to the woman that need a tip cutting. Mommy, please come and face the cameras. Thank you. Next we'll invite the Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Lillian Imwetiya Salami, to receive also a plaque from the Honorable Minister, and of course our guest speaker for today, Aswa Igodalo Esquire, the Chairman Sterling Bank. Thank you so very much. Can the applause be sustained for our visionary VC? And of course, a boardroom guru, a boardroom specialist, Aswa Igodalo. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much. You can have your seat, sir. As I have the singular honor to invite to read the citation on the guest speaker, who will also be standing together while the citation is being read. Aswa Igodalo Esquire, the Chairman Sterling Bank and Non-Executive Director, Nigerian Breweries PLC. And before our distinguished guest speaker will download all from his reservoir, I have the honor to invite Dr. Iriakose Osai Bobo to eat his citation. Your hands together, please.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, acknowledging the established protocol, I'll proceed to read the citation of our guest speaker. Our guest speaker today is Barrister Aswa Igodalo. Aswa Igodalo is the co-founder of Banwo and Igodalo, founded in 1991, the leading corporate and commercial law firm in Nigeria. He obtained his first degree in economics from the University of Ibadan in 1981, a law degree from the London School of Economics and Political Science in 1984, and was admitted into the Nigerian bar in July 1985. His core areas of practice are corporate and project finance, securities and capital markets, energy and natural resources, and mergers and acquisitions. Over the last 25 years, he has been involved in virtually all of the international capital markets transactions by Nigerian corporates and banks, and has been engaged in most of the major corporate mergers and restructurings in Nigeria. These include leading the legal teams that advised on the mergers of 17 of the 25 surviving banks post-consolidation in 2005-2006, on all the federal government's Eurobond issuances, including the $4 billion issuance in September 2021, the acquisition of Diamond Bank by Access Bank, the acquisition of Dangote Flour Mills PLC by the Olam Group, and the recent acquisition of RSNL, the ShopRite ownership company in Nigeria, by a group led by Persians Limited. He has also worked on and led legal teams on sub-sovereign debt issuances for Edo, Lagos, Cross Rivers, and Ogun states. He is a member of the Nigerian Bar Association. International Bar Association, Association of International Petroleum Negotiators, Institute of Directors, Nigeria, Commercial Law and Taxation Committee of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. He is a past chairman of the section on business law from 2014 to 2016. Aswe Igodalo is the chairman, board of directors, Sterling Bank PLC, Nigerian Breweries PLC, Levin Energy Group, Edo State Investment Summit, Alagodao, DO2 Designs Limited, and Global Mix Limited. He also sits on the boards of other public and private companies and organizations, including the Christopher Kolade Foundation, Kashim Ibrahim Fellowship in Kaduna, Main Street Technologies Limited, Buff & Co. Insurance Brokers Limited, Cardinal Stone Partners, and Okomu Oil Palm PLC. Until November 2022, when he completed his term, Aswe was chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, a private sector economic think tank. He also served on the board of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority from May 2017 to May 2021, during which period he served on the Investment, Infrastructure, and Governance Committees of the Wealth Fund. He also served as chairman Dangote Flour Mills PLC until its divestment in 2019. He has served on many government advisory and technical committees, including member of the Electric Power Sector Reform and Implementation Committee from 2001 to 2004, Vice Chairman, committee established by the Nigerian government to review the Investment and Securities Act, Chairman, Securities and Exchange Commission, Technical Committee on Demutualization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Edo State Economic Strategy Team from 2009 to 2016, amongst others. Aswe has been consistently ranked as a Tier 1 or leading lawyer in all of his areas of practice by several leading legal directories. He has authored many articles in leading law publications on foreign investments, privatization, capital markets, debt and equity issuances, and energy. He is frequently invited by professional bodies, groups, and corporations to speak on diverse issues around law, economics, social politics, leadership, and business succession and sustainability. For over 6 years, he lectured on the duties and responsibilities of company directors and on corporate governance issues at the Lagos Business School and at the Institute of Directors seminars. He was conferred with an honorary doctorate degree of economics, Doctor of Literature, of Letters, by the Edo University Uzuari, Edo State in November 2021. His hobbies include playing golf, watching football, reading, traveling, and participating in political discourse. He enjoys mentoring younger professionals and entrepreneurs. He is married to Ifeinwa, a furniture manufacturer and interior designer, who is also the chairperson Wimbees, and is blessed with a daughter who is a serial entrepreneur. Without further ado, join me to accord a resounding ovation and a warm UBTH welcome to Barrister Igodalo as he comes to deliver his lecture.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I stand on all existing protocols, but it will be totally remiss of me if I don't acknowledge His Excellency Chief Godwin Obaseki. I know he doesn't like when I call him Chief, but Your Excellency, sir. And my boyhood idol, I'm so
happy and proud to sit so near you today. General Yakubu Gowon with One Nigeria, and Mrs. Gowon, the most beautiful woman we knew growing up. I salute you both. And the Honorable Minister, sir, you went to government college, but I still salute you. Today's stage is for King's College boys, but I salute you. My brother, the Deputy Governor and the Secretary to State Government, I salute you. And I salute our royal fathers here present. I salute everybody. And I thank you. I welcome you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm in awe, particularly when I'm in academic circles. I don't belong. I belong in a different place. But I salute you all and I thank you. Today, I've been asked to speak on the subject of revolutionizing healthcare access in Nigeria, with particular emphasis on exploring cutting-edge financing models for actualizing that access. And I believe I was asked to speak on this because people think I'm a banker. I'm not a banker, I'm a lawyer. I just chair a bank. This topic converges two very critical and inextricably linked issues, and we must resolve these issues to enable us effectively. The first of the two issues is the proper design and efficient implementation of an appropriate universal healthcare model for the country. And the second, because when we design the model, we have to finance it. So the second is the diligent, creative, and innovative mechanisms required to identify, secure, and deploy the financing required to effectively actualize such model. But before we go deep into what I'm supposed to really talk about and how we can resolve the issues, I think it's critically important that we look at a specific matter. Because as I prepared for this paper, I knew I was coming among academics, so I tried to do a lot of homework. I looked at different materials, different data. Something struck me. Every day we all say health is wealth. And I wondered if we've all given full consideration to how profoundly true these words are, especially in the development context of our country. Or have we thought about how instructive those words are if we genuinely, as Nigerians, seek economic and social development, inclusive growth, and universal prosperity? In today's reality, where the development of formidable, knowledgeable, creative, and highly skilled human capital, not oil, not agricultural products, and not just by having a big population, but highly skilled human capital is the only viable strategy for escaping the scourge of poverty that threatens to engulf us as a country. I truly wondered whether it is indeed clear to all of us that universal health coverage must become a non-negotiable pillar of our national competitive strategy. And I must admit that until I did this research, I didn't even know how fundamental and important this was. I wonder if we recognize that it is impossible to build a great and prosperous country that has happy people if we do not design and deliver healthcare models that ensures that every Nigerian has access to quality health services, regardless of the financial status of that Nigerian. The world is changing. As the future of the global economy unfolds before us, post-COVID, and the aftermath of the Ukraine invasion, it is clear that the era of natural resources economies is totally gone. The future of the world belongs to those who are able to combine new knowledge with new production methods, who can also combine new technologies and can create, discover, and build. This means that the nations who will survive and prosper in the new world order are those nations whose populations can think and act with speed, but most importantly, those nations whose populations can think. The developed countries of the world are determined, and if we listen carefully to the utterances of each developed country president, you will see the underlying tone. They are determined to lead the charge in establishing this new way of life. And this new way of life is going to be anchored solely on technology and sustainability. But let me tell us all something. These countries do not plan to carry the rest of us along if we do not create our own path. The winners of the next development race will be those countries who are able to unleash their human capital to dominate new frontiers in production and value creation. Invariably, these will be the countries that have people who can think, who can create, and who can innovate. These countries must be countries and shall be countries led by competent, compassionate, disciplined, hard-working thinkers who truly love their people and are passionate about their country's development. And as always, when there are winners, there will be losers. The losers will be countries where internal circumstances make it difficult for their people to be thinkers. Health is a key pillar of these internal circumstances. Generally, unhealthy people led by unhealthy, incompetent folks with limited ability to think creatively and progressively will be unable to compete in the world that is emerging. The only chance we have as Nigeria, and I want to repeat that, and we need to take this extremely seriously. The only chance we have as Nigeria to be part of this new world order and to move our over 200 million people into posterity is to forge our vast population into formidable human capital force. To achieve this, we must tackle, number one, hunger and nutrition, number two, health and well-being, number three, quality education, and make these the three vital people-oriented pillars of a national and sub-national revival. Employment creation, infrastructure development, and several of the other interventions we regularly talk about are anchored on these three pillars. It is therefore no accident that these three pillars also happen to be the second, third, and fourth of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals after the first, which is poverty elimination, which was adopted by the United Nations in 2015. So, why is healthcare SDG number 3? And why is health indeed wealth? The health-led growth hypothesis was first advanced by a deep thinker called S.J. Moshke in 1962. He was the first to identify a positive correlation between health expenditure and economic growth. This was then further backed by the work of another health economist called Michael Grossman, which established that healthcare was a fixed capital stock. So expenditure on healthcare was capital expenditure. And this positively correlated with economic growth. Grossman concluded that spending on health ought to be viewed as an investment towards the promotion of economic growth. The body of work on this subject by these and other economic thinkers is extensive and generally considered incontrovertible, and the correlative effects benchmarked at about 0.564% increase in GDP for every 1% increase in focused healthcare expenditure in emerging markets like ours. This is why health is wealth. So each time we spend 0.6, we get a GDP growth of nearly 1%. To focus appropriately on where and what we should spend our healthcare money on, let's look quickly at the 13 SDG 3 targets, which cut across a range of healthcare considerations. 3 of those 13 relate to reproductive and child health, 3 of them to communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases and addiction, 2 to environmental health, and 1 to achieving universal health coverage, which is what I'm going to talk about principally. 4 of those relate to tobacco control, vaccines, medicines, health financing, and global health risk preparedness. The unifying theme of these targets is that they address common assaults on human existence and human well-being, all of which are anathema to the development of a robust, resilient, human capital-centered economic development agenda, and all of which must be tackled as an impediment to national progress and national development. The studies on which these target areas are premised quite clearly illustrate that negative trends across them directly correlate with poor development outcomes. And the logic is not complicated. Over and over, what has been demonstrated is that a healthier population can think more creatively, can innovate assuredly, can work longer, can be more productive, can secure higher earnings, can have higher learning abilities, and in general can enhance the efficiency of the economy's human capital. So basically, any country that aspires to accelerated development and prosperity must fix its healthcare systems in its own enlightened self-interest. Any country that has disjointed, inaccessible, and poorly financed healthcare systems cannot develop. It cannot, and it cannot prosper. I am not the one saying it, it's historically proven. Sick and unhealthy people can never build a great nation. It's not possible. Again, on the list of the SDG targets, Target 3.8 directly speaks to the first part of our conversation. The achievement of universal healthcare coverage with financial risk protection. It clarifies what we mean by universal health coverage as the need for access by all members of society to essential health care, and at a cost that does not place them in financial hardship. So, for us in Nigeria, is this achievable? And if it is achievable, what will it take for us to achieve it? Although it cannot happen overnight, I truly believe that universal health coverage is both realistic and achievable in Nigeria. I firmly believe so. But we, the people of Nigeria, must make it achievable. We must look for leadership that will make it achievable. Otherwise, we will remain in poverty. Countries with similar demographics like ours, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, have already made significant progress on this front. And we can see the correlation between the rate of development and the rate of health care. And if we want to be more aspirational, let's look at South Korea, which in 1962 had a lower GDP than we did. But today, it is the highest ranked healthcare system in the world. All about leadership. It's ranked higher than Europe or the USA. And we don't need to look to the heavens or to reinvent the wheel to resolve our healthcare issues. Some details will reflect our own peculiar circumstances, but it is a global challenge that has been cured globally. The most successful model for curing this problem is the universal health coverage. And this has been adopted globally and used to address healthcare needs. What it has done is that it has clustered the most frequent and essential health service needs of any population. And in our own case, that would be malaria, cholera, dysentery, typhoid, waterborne diseases, and has provided promotive, preventive, curative, rehabilitative, and palliative care to address these problems without fanfare, cost effectively, no frills, close to home primary healthcare model. Other higher faluting additional services for less frequent and more specialized needs and procedures are then complementarily addressed under secondary and tertiary healthcare structures, which you can find in our hospitals, and outpatient specialist centers that will offer a greater range of diagnostic services, x-rays, pathological laboratory services, etc. In India, they have been successful in solving their real problems, and I'll use India as an example, just one example, with basic solutions, adopting a bottom-up approach in their journey towards universal health coverage. India's government focused initially on providing healthcare to the most vulnerable citizens and the poorest of the poor. And it used a tax-financed national health protection scheme in 2018. This is not too long ago, and we can relate. From this targeted base, states in India began to rapidly scale up their interventions to larger segments of the population. And they created a groundswell that has been India's healthcare landscape expand from state-led interventions to a private sector-led healthcare market that has grown approximately 300% in the 7 years from 2015 to what has become a $372 billion market by 2022. So in 7 years, they had grown their healthcare markets. To further expand services to the poor, the government offered generous tax holidays to private healthcare providers who operated hospitals outside cities. So if they operated hospitals in rural areas, they offered them tax holidays. An added incentive would be for doctors, healthcare workers, nurses who worked in these rural facilities not to pay any tax. They were exempted from paying tax, and they had access to long-term concessionary mortgage. So there were incentives to place healthcare facilities and personnel in rural areas. Today, all Indian citizens can get free outpatient and inpatient care at government facilities. With the growth of the market and targeted investments in healthcare education, India's doctor to citizen population ratio moved from 0.68 to 1,000 in 2017, which was well below the WHO standard of 1 doctor to 1,000 citizens, to today, or December 2022, where they have 1 doctor to 834 citizens. This surpassed the World Health Standard in just 5 short years. India is offered as an example of a country that is successfully tackling the healthcare challenge head-on with a population that is 5 times our own population. India is approaching primary healthcare as an essential building block of its national healthcare strategy and a fundamental for its economic growth. The Alma Ata Declaration in 1978 was the first major milestone of the 20th century in the field of public health. It identified targeted primary health care as the key to the attainment of universal health care coverage. Many countries of the world adopted the model, and those who adopted the model and implemented it well are reaping the benefits today. Those countries who didn't are also reaping the results today. The primary healthcare model, if well designed, is rooted in the principles of efficiency, scales of economies, and recognizes that resources are finite. So the focus is on allocating them with operational and financial efficiency at the highest levels. In September 1985, Professor Olikoye Ransom Kuti was appointed as Minister of Health in Nigeria. He was a thinker. He was ahead of his time. He believed in universal health coverage and believed in adopting primary health care as a building block. Unfortunately, so we lost a remarkable opportunity. So in Nigeria today, what will the fit-for-purpose primary health care model look like? With limited financial resources, we will need to adopt alternative strategies to address our needs. Our current doctor-to-population ratio sits at 1 doctor to 4,000 of us, against the WHO recommendation of 1 doctor to 1,000. So it's inadequate, and it takes 4 to 6 years to train new doctors and other healthcare professionals. So, as we think about a way out, our staffing model must take this into account. We must shift primary healthcare reliance to a well-trained cadre of non-physician healthcare professionals, boosted by appropriately stocked dispensaries and accessible offline health tech solutions. We must have a fit-for-purpose approach. We will need to look at options such as integrating our primary healthcare infrastructure into complementary facilities such as schools, markets, churches, mosques, local government offices, dispensaries located in traditional rulers' premises and religious leaders' premises, all the way to having mobile health units. We will need to define target coverage ratios and systematically roll out and scale up our infrastructure by population to incrementally reach optimal service levels. We will need to share best practices, continually train our health staff, and implement travel rosters. We will need to embed our vertical disease campaigns like polio or malaria or tuberculosis into the primary healthcare delivery mechanism. Before we start talking about the financing part of it, and a tool for building a fit-for-purpose primary healthcare model, and indeed for rebuilding Nigeria, are visionary hardworking leadership, context-appropriate interventions, operational efficiency, and execution discipline. It is not for lack of ideas and policy interventions that our healthcare sector and our country continues to regress. Progress requires unwavering discipline, a commitment to consistent and incremental improvement, judicious resource allocation, goal orientation, and laser focus. If we consider operational efficiency the critical success factor for the delivery of primary health care, then planning is probably the most critical consideration at the secondary healthcare level. The choices we make about coverage and distance ratios, road networks, service planning, equipment and infrastructure investment literally rise to the level of life or death at these decision levels. The facilities and services we include or exclude that we maintain or fail to maintain, and the quality of healthcare delivered at these hospitals, we determine what options citizens with acute or critical healthcare needs invariably have access to. We must learn to build capacity incrementally. At the tertiary level, we will have specialist hospitals such as cancer treatment centers, burn centers, dialysis, cardiac and infectious diseases facilities, with an obsessive focus on leveraging expertise to deliver high-quality health outcomes. Teaching and private hospitals should be the primary providers in this tier, and teaching hospitals such as this one should be leading in specialist areas where the faculty have expertise. We already see a number of private sector-led tertiary facilities being established in our primary urban centers. Who knows, we may even be able to eventually deliver quaternary care, offering experimental procedures and highly specialized surgery, bringing back many of our best and brightest who have such professional refuge elsewhere. And we just may become a net foreign exchange earner from medical tourism if we have thinkers. If we have thinkers who are ready to work hard and implement effectively. India achieved this status in less than 2 Nigerian presidential terms. So, the questions are these. Who should regulate or run this tiered healthcare system? And who pays for it, or how does it get paid for? The supply side, meaning the facilities and the services, must be funded. And clarity about who controls what, and therefore who has responsibility for funding what, is very important. Also, it is important that we know who is making the necessary capital contribution on the demand side to keep the services running. We should know who should legislate and run health services. In the 1979 Constitution, we had healthcare on the concurrent list item. So we made it a joint responsibility of the federal and the state governments. In the 1999 Constitution, I've been searching and searching. It's not on either list. It's not on the exclusive list, it's on the concurrent list. So lawyers would say it's falls into the residual list gap. So we don't know if it's a mistake or if it was intentional. But for whatever it is, I'm clear that the monkey is on the back of state governments. The monkey is on your back, state governments, to provide the necessary health care. The states must own and support primary health care, which we have already identified as the bedrock of universal health coverage. And they must enable work through their local government administration. This is the first step. Then they must identify, attract, acquire, and then deploy the resources to deliver quality secondary care. The federal government may come to the table through the funding of teaching hospitals and federal medical centers, but easily, 3/4 of our citizens only attend primary and secondary health care facilities, and this resides with the states. So where will the states get the funding? Where will they get this funding? Some of it will come from traditional funding sources, FAC, and that FAC keeps diminishing every day. Their IGR, their effective tax collection, and then innovative tax regimes, and then thinking starts. Because this is the point at which you need innovative financial thinking and innovative financial engineering. So, the strategic use of public funds must be combined with development finance and other sources of benevolent capital so that we can mobilize private capital for developmental purposes. Must find a way to bring private capital into developmental purposes, and this requires deep thinking. Financial structuring and financial engineering are the skills required here. In some ways, the tiered approach that works for organizing the healthcare model must be applied to organizing the funding. The state must lead with whatever capital that it has. The state must consider in its design, rollout, and operations features that ensure that we can open the doors of benevolent and development finance very effectively. The state must deliberately search for and access international and local donor funds, grants, aid funding, matching funds, concessionary loans, and equipment donations. The key to accessing these funds is to clearly demonstrate that the user of the funds will be competent, efficient, judicious, transparent, and honest in the use of the funds. If you build trust that way, you will even attract more funds. It is fundamental that states are responsible in this way. We must also understand that priorities are shifting worldwide, and international development funds who seek to structure and support projects are beginning to think differently. Sustainable healthcare infrastructure will always attract more capital than the traditional brick and mortar health centers, with petrol and diesel generators. So, we must understand eligibility by adopting and highlighting sustainability features in our project plans. This will allow us to combine grants, low-cost aid, long-tenor loan facilities with public finance to build up the primary healthcare level. Too much of the development finance and donor money that could be allocated to Nigeria goes elsewhere because of our inadequacies in discipline, lethargy, and corruption. Countries like Rwanda, with far less human resources and economic potential, attract and take up those funds just because they have the discipline to structure projects properly and execute judiciously. To keep the follow-on capital flowing, fund owners and managers must trust us that we will spend the capital appropriately and that the projects will be judiciously and effectively executed and that there will be no leakage. If we let them loose on new technologies, emerging trends, see what some of our youth are doing in Silicon Valley. So if we let them loose on new technologies and emerging trends and health robotics, artificial intelligence, big data, telemedicine, precision medicine, blockchain technology, we can't imagine what will happen. And all of this takes vision-powered leadership. In closing, I see you're standing beside me. In closing, I would like to thank the board and management, staff and students of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. I'd like to thank you very much for the opportunity to address you today. And in addressing you today, it also gave me the opportunity to do detailed, extensive research into this work. And it truly opened up my eyes. This is an extremely important developmental topic. And this topic is critical, fundamental, and appropriate for the occasion of your 50th anniversary. I salute those visionaries who founded this establishment, and I'm truly happy that General Gowon is here. Thank you very much, sir. I salute the visionaries, General Gowon, General Obemudia, Dr. Ighodaro, Professor Bello Osage, and the many others, some of whom are here. True thinkers and true visionaries who set up this world-class institution at world-class standards, regardless of the problems we have today that have diminished the capacity of our institution. I implore those of you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. CMD, those of you and your board, and the students and the staff, who are the inheritors of this institution, that you have a duty to take it to greater heights, regardless of the financial, economic, and capacity headwinds. Regardless, you need to think. You need to think creatively. We must dream big and we must act smart. That is the only way our country will progress. I thank our governor, who has shown us clearly by his commitment, hard work, and creativity the possibilities that are attainable where you think, where you have vision-powered, creative, and financially prudent leadership. There's really no way out. We must develop a country of thinkers at every level. Mr. Governor, your institutional, educational, and infrastructure reforms provide a solid foundation for the attainment of of the future of our dreams, of the state that is the future of our dreams. As I take my seat, I ask all of us, at least those of us here who are thinkers, that working with determined commitment and grit, we must start the process of revamping our nation's healthcare system so that we can, as a country, grow at double-digit rate within a decade, so that we do not and are not left behind by the other countries of the world, and so that we can become a country of healthy, wealthy, prosperous, safe, secure, happy people, a country where no woman and no man is oppressed. Thank you.
Starting on the existing protocol, but permit me to greet. My father is also here, Chief Obaseki. If I don't say like this, I don't know if I can ever go back home. Thank you. Bishop sends his greetings to the management and staff and asked me to greet General Gawan and his wife. I was a little girl. I was one of the dancers, little girls who danced when this university was, hospital was open at the time. And then he sent me to represent him and to say that he would like to support the renovation of the maternity with only 10 million for now.
10 million naira donation from my Lord Bishop, the Right Reverend Dr. Matthew Okpewolo. Can we put our hands together? We expect collaborators to ensure that the University of Benin Teaching Hospital is a pride. 10 million naira. Can we applaud that? I will also invite the Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin to make some remarks to this point. Can we put our hands together for Professor Lillian Imoetia, beautiful salami. But if you ever attend the great University of Benin, can I hear you applaud our VC for the greatest of the greatest Nigerian student? Great Universe!
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our own dear daddy. I was so excited yesterday when I joined the entourage to welcome General Gowon and the beautiful wife. In fact, I held on to his hand for as long as I could so that this, if I didn't want to wash the hands yesterday when I got home, I was like, keep this hand and it must remain. So thank you so very much. My own big brother, the minister, wonderful man, quiet but achieving man. And then my brother, please see the deputy governor looking at me. He knows one time we were brother and sister. Are we still one? Okay, thank you. And then of course, Barrister Ogie, wonderful man. The CMD, I can't say any word without greeting my Baba. I greet you, sir, the chairman. He's been so wonderful. For the first time, he was coming to the university and I said, no, Baba, wait, I'll come and see you. And he insisted, he said, I must come and honor you because for the first time, University of Benin is actually donating and giving buildings to the teaching hospital. So, and it's happening during our time. Darlington, are we not blessed? We are. So I want to thank all of you here. It's been wonderful. 50 years, golden, and you can see our Ashwebi is showing the golden cup. This wonderful young man has been just great. He has done so much. We have enjoyed his cooperation. We have enjoyed working together. And like I always say to him, this is a marriage that is going to last forever. There is no divorce because what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And it is University of Benin and University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Go on, my brother, I support you all the way. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Can we put our hands together as I have the singular honor to invite the board chairman to help us make some presentations to some recipients before LSS Chorale. We serenade the environment with wonderful music. And the first recipient is Excellency, the Digital Deputy Governor of Edo State, the Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu, the sports wonderful striker. Can we put our hands together for His Excellency? Can we applaud His Excellency, the most loyal Deputy Governor in Africa? And the next recipient before Baba will sit down, one of the best when it comes to creativity in business, the Chairman Managing Director, Again Aluminium Longspan Industry, the Right Honorable Chevelia Andrew Agenome. Baba, you are still to present few more. Thank you. Can we put our hands together for this man that has integrity when it comes to business, and he does it without minding the cost of profit margin. Creativity and integrity is his watchword. Again Aluminium, thank you for being a friend to UBTH. May I next invite Barrister Ken Imaswagbo, the rice man, or his representative. Otherwise, we move over to the next banner. And that is Dr. Uchenna Ibokwe, or his representative, to please step forward. And then the last in this series, we'll invite Dr. Osayame Ekakwere. If any of them or their representatives are around, please step forward. Otherwise, Baba may sit down for now. LSS Chorale, Esheku Kosa, you can have your seat.
Each morning for a newborn day where we may walk we thank thee for the sunshine and the air that we breathe, oh Lord. We thank thee, we thank thee for the rivers that run all day, and we thank thee for the little birds that sing along the way. We thank thee for the trees and the deep, oh Lord. We thank thee. We thank the Lord for every flower that's blooms, birds that sing, and fish that swim, and the light of the moon. We thank thee every day as we kneel and pray that we were born with eyes to see this day. Yes, we thank thee for the fields where the flowers grow, and we thank thee for the pastures where the cattle may roam. We thank thee for the God of air and the breeze, oh Lord.
Respectfully invite His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, to help us present the next batch of awards to the next recipient. Thank you, LSS Cora. We're cutting just on this way out. Thank you for that beautiful one. Can we have it? And the first recipients for the Digit Deputy Governor to present the Chairman Committee of CMDs, Professor Emmett Bassi. Please step forward. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for obliging us to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together? Come this way then. And the next on this will be Professor Abdul Wakama Ibrahim, MD, FNPH Meduguri. The next will be Dr. Victor Osiatuma, MD, Federal Medical Center, Asaba. If you are here, please step forward. The others, Dr. Yahaya B. Adamu, MD, Federal Medical Center, Kelfi. Please step forward. Step forward. You are already coming, Your Excellency. Wakama is here now, Your Excellency. Thank you. And next, Professor Anas Sabah. Dr. Yahaya Adamu is the next after this. Just stay with me, sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Victor Osiatuma. And then Professor Ants Sada, CMD UDUTH Sokoto, to please step forward. And that will be all for this batch. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. Thank you, LSS. You may continue that wonderful music, and after which we'll have a documentary. Thank you, Your Excellency.
And I'm through the rest of you. Yes, of many colors, every piece was small. An accident of a cold, it was a wind and a fall. Mama sold the rest together, so they never paid what I lost in my mind. Oh, the many colors that I was so well. She told a story from the Bible. She read about the cold on many curves. Just like a word, and she's back. Man else is going to break you. And happiness, and I just couldn't wait. So yes, and Mama blessed me. I kiss.
Thank you very much, LSS. We'll bring you back again. Thank you. Bennett and Rapid, take it on.
The chairman of the occasion, sir, and your very beautiful and amiable wife, should please come and support the CMD. The CMD is already standing by the cake. Our Honorable Minister of Health and the board chairman, Baba himself, is already here. And our guest speaker, sir, you also join in the cutting of the
We'll invite Honorable Dr. PhD to please join, representing the Memorial family. Thank you. Those in charge of the documentary, please queue up.
Yes. Not all. Like 10. I carry 10.
Thank you so much. Can we invite the chairman of this event?
Chairman of the occasion,
and his dear
your
wife.
Now 50 years ago you cut the tape. Today you are cutting the cake. Yes, ma'am. Right about now. And the Honorable Minister is also coming forward. They are going to flag the CMD as they cut the ceremonial cake marking the 50th anniversary of UBTH. We'll see the beautiful edifice. This cake was fully designed by Bake Me cake. Sir, please, we all file and stand behind this beautiful edifice. You can see right from the entrance the beautiful green scenarios, the greeneries and all. My chairman is being supported by his very beautiful and amiable wife. The board chairman is there, the CMD, the minister, the guest speaker. Sir, please, our hands on the cake. We are going to spell 50. House, are you with me? Are you with me? We are going to spell 50 and we will call the cake. F-I-F-T-N-Y. And that is how we cut the ceremonial cake, marking UBTH at 50. Thank you very much. And immediately after this, as they go back to their seat, ICT. Finally, we are back. I hope we are ready. We will have you now. You are going to show us the journey. You take us through this journey.
Can we invite Mr. Chairman and members of the high table to take their seat first before the documentary? It's a very short one. Can we please sit down? We are about to proceed to the closing formalities. But let's sit down briefly and watch the documentary before the vote of thanks.
Remember this, I'm a king.
We also invite Professor Pius Kiriokwe for your role in establishing in vitro fertilization services in UNIBEN.
Members of the board, the management, staff, and patients of the university. But I want to, in felicitating with you, really appreciate the founding fathers and all the past chief executives of the hospital. And the progress that has been made is phenomenal over these past 50 years.
For the past 50 years, UBTH has been at the forefront of saving lives like this. Our team of healthcare professionals, consisting of doctors, nurses, paramedics, and the whole team, have been a beacon of hope for the people of the South-South geopolitical zone. Come along with me and I'll take you on a ride on how it all began.
I am Sir Franklin Ijese Mohome. I was seconded from the civil service of the then Midwestern region to the Midwest Medical Center, as the hospital was at that time. That was the beginning of my connection with the hospital. I was there as the first House Governor and Secretary. It started, as I said, as a Midwest Medical Center. The late Brigadier General Bumudia was an achiever, set out to establish so many projects. He began with what he was called then the Midwest Institute of Technology, which metamorphosed into the University of Benin. And he thought that that project would not be complete until there was also a teaching hospital.
Every day for the past 50 years, our doors have been open to patients with different needs, coming in and going out in an endless stream. Our professionals in different departments who have been trained and have acquired capacities in almost every aspect of medical specialty, nursing care, and ancillary services work tirelessly to provide top-notch services, which have become a mark of distinction for UBTH. From the accident and emergency to the theaters, the wards, the critical care areas, and even the various outpatient clinics. You are sure to experience professionalism through and through.
I'm Professor Eugene Okpere. I retired as a professor of 22 years from University of Benin in 2018. I was Chief Medical Director of University of Benin Teaching Hospital 204-208. The University of Benin Teaching Hospital is, apart from UCH, the only teaching hospital that started full-time as a teaching hospital. In fact, UCH didn't really start as UCH. UCH started in Adeoyo and eventually moved into the teaching hospital UCH in Ibadan. And when you look at the buildings they built, you are amazed how they could see the future. The buildings are structurally solid, architecturally competent, and pleasing to the eye. And the good news is that subsequent chief medical directors and director of administration and all UBT staff have stuck to this unbelievable looking into history. So when you come to UBT, you don't see choked up buildings. But to come here now, he will be amazed of the new structures that have been put in UBTH. And yet it merges so beautifully with the system. We give credit to them. Of course, we must give credit to subsequent chief medical directors. But I think the greatest evidence of our success story can be borne out by one issue. In 2007, the federal government started Servicom, and they set up committees to evaluate all federal-owned institutions. I think they evaluated about 250 federal institutions. I'm glad to say UBTH is in the papers, was adjudged to be the best federal institution in the country in terms of service delivery. That is one I like to regard as one of our best achievements because it encompasses our success story.
Beyond the professionalism of our personnel, the management of UBTH has invested so much in technology and acquired state-of-the-art equipment to be able to provide high-end services in the hospital, such as laparoscopic surgeries, laser lithotripsy, transsphenoidal and transnasal surgeries, as well as the capacity for open heart surgery. To be able to support these high-end services, the critical care units have also been upgraded. Our 15-bed ultra-modern intensive care unit and 50-bed neonatal unit are all testaments of our commitment to enhancing quality of life.
UBTH has been wonderful for me. This is my first child. My experience here was amazing. I'm grateful to God I actually gave birth here because a lot of things that I learned during the antenatal has really helped me greatly. And we're still here. We continue to come back here and we hope that other mothers will also come here as well. It's not expensive.
Elderly patients also have a special place in our hearts. With a dedicated geriatrics ward and elder-friendly hospital initiative, this hospital takes care of you from cradle to grave.
I had multiple fractures on my waist and my left leg. And they call it, according to the hospital when I got here, they call it ORIF. So by my waist, I had a serious fracture there and also at the waist too. Yeah, I was admitted to this hospital here on the 3rd of January and it lasted the 8th of March when I was discharged. The experience so far, and particularly with the doctors and the nurses, yes, their disposition towards patients, particularly to me, let me just give my own experience, it has been very good, friendly. I enjoyed their care, more especially like my own doctor, the doctor in charge of my Professor Bumudia. I believe he's a very renowned, caring, fatherly man, so he attended to me very well. And today you can see it, I'm standing because on the first place, when I was admitted to this hospital, at least for the past 1 month, I couldn't stand, I couldn't even sit, I was just lying facing up. I was thinking my spinal cord was even dead. But now see me, I'm standing, I'm moving.
But UBTH is not just a place for patient care alone. It is also an institution for training of high and middle-level manpower for the healthcare industry. Our residency programs in the different specializations have full accreditation.
Well, my name is Bashon Radidoja Adeworu MFR. I'm the current chairman of University of Benin Teaching Hospital. UBTH as of today is the largest teaching hospital in South-South because we have committed members in the hospital and all the professors are there. We have distinguished ourselves. First and foremost, we have peace. We have unity among the staff, the nursing staff, the administrative staff, the technology, the pharmacy, and we all called all heads of department together that I have meeting with them. And one of the reasons why UBTH is like that is when you have a leader. And when your leader knows his worth, a leader knows that no star will shine forever. There are times for everything, and you take your time and develop others. There is no progress or no success unless there's adequate successor. And I'm happy that people that have been medical director in UBT contributed their quota. And of course, we are having a lot of improvement of lot of things that we have done.
After 50 years of dedicated services to Nigerians, seeing what we have been able to achieve, we are more than ever before committed to providing quality healthcare solutions to all our clients from all over the country.
I'm Professor Darlington Obaseki. I'm the Chief Medical Director of University of Benin Teaching Hospital. I'm privileged to be the 6th Chief Medical Director of this great hospital. UBTH holds a lot of promise in helping turn around the healthcare delivery system in Nigeria. The challenges we face in the country today, including healthcare worker attrition through migration to other countries and general economic downturn, has negatively affected the healthcare system. But UBTH stands at the forefront of trying to reverse all this by championing specialist services that can be accessed in a one-stop center like ours. We look forward to in the next 50 years to be able to do a lot of things to compete with the best hospitals in Africa and indeed the world. We look forward to the next 50 years to make UBTH a center of excellence for comprehensive cancer care, all the way from screening, diagnosis of cancer conditions, treatment, palliative care, and even research into cancer, breakthrough research. We want UBTH to be at the forefront of this advance. Also, cardiovascular disease is becoming very prominent in Africans, in Nigerians now. We're also looking at making UBTH a center for cardiovascular treatment. We look forward to setting up an advanced cardiac lab with a cath lab, an ability to have cardiac interventions. We've already initiated that. We're having an open heart surgeries. We believe that if we can do this, a lot of our citizens who currently travel out of the country to seek care abroad, a lot of them will not stay back because we have the backbone, we have the structure in place to be able to execute this. We have the manpower to be able to do this seamlessly.
This hospital has come a long way, has grown from a small institution to the level where it is playing big in the national scene. We also expect that in no distant future, it will play bigger roles, not only within the country, but also in Africa and the world.
I'm the best my generation ever seen.
50 years gone, the future is even brighter.
I never miss. I've been smashing, I've been killing everything.
Professor Friday, reproductive health innovation. Professor Friday Okunafwa is coming. Benedicta Aragbe, please come up stage to take over for the next institutions.
We want to appreciate each and every one of us for our patience and everything that you have done to make this day what it is today. I'm going to invite to the microphone right about now the chairperson of the Central Working Committee, a woman after my mother and a mentor to very many of us in the medical world, We want to appreciate her for this work that she has done, even as we invite her to the microphone. Professor O.H. Okoye, she is going to give the vote of thanks on behalf of the hospital and the Central Working Committee.
Although we've been directed to stand on the existing protocol, I most especially recognize the chairman of the day, General Yakubu Gowon, and his beautiful, amiable wife, Mrs. Victoria Gowon. Like I told you yesterday, I was a little girl in primary school in Lagos when we went to line the route after their wedding, and since then I've been one of your fans. And you are still looking the same, you have not changed. My task is not simple, although people say it's simple, because there's no how you can thank anybody enough. But I want to start by saying the Almighty God, the one that knows us all, will thank everyone for us in his own special way by his power in Jesus' name. I am the happiest person today, and I'm most excited. And you will permit me to shout and scream, "Praise the Lord!" Thank you very much. We'll start by thanking our chairman, the general, and his ever beautiful wife. We thank you, sir. That's you that commissioned this hospital. You are here 50 years after to see how we are faring. And our prayer is that God will continue to keep you for us in good health, in joy, and in peace. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. We'd like to thank the governor and his deputy, though they have left. They have always been friends of the hospital, partnering with us in everything that we do. We appreciate them and we thank them. We thank our employer, the Honorable Minister of Health, who is here himself. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We want to thank the board chairman and other members of the board who have supported us to make sure that this. We thank the chairman and committee of CMDs who came from far and near to grace this occasion. We appreciate you, we thank you, and we pray that God will take you all home safely in Jesus' name. We thank the royal fathers they have left. We appreciate all of them. We thank especially our benefactors who have always been with us. Bishop Okwewolo, Bishop Omobide, Mr. Gemome, our sponsors who have been listed on page 71 of the program. They have been so helpful to us, but I must single out some of them for special appreciation. WWCVL Limited, Micro Nova Pharmacy, Chadnet Pharmacy, Health Love Pharmacy, Except Charis, Evandoro Pharmacy, Pharmacy Plus, and Sotheby's. They have been fantastic, sponsoring most of the events that we have organized. And of course, our medical elders who will not be here today. They started it all, and they have nurtured and nourished you to this stage. I must thank Emeritus Professor Huebu, Professor Pere, Professor Bastoha, Professor Olue, Professor Bowa, and so many of them around. Thank you so much for always being there for us. And of course, I must thank the staff and students of UBTH. UBTH staff, are you here? Are you here? We thank you all. And of course, I must thank my committees, the Central Working Committee, chaired by the CMD himself, and George, the co-chairperson. We thank all of you for working so hard to ensure that today turned out a huge success. And last but not the least, we want to thank members of the press. They have partnered with us. They have publicized our activities, not just this ceremony, but all that we have done. Thank you all, and above all, we thank God, for whom you must give all the glory. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. May I invite the Edo Cultural Troupe to lead our distinguished guest to unveil a statue But that will be after the closing formalities, the national anthem, and then we all move. Shall we please rise for the national anthem? The chairman of this occasion, members of the high table, will follow the CMD for us to unveil a statue in front of the hospital that has been designed in honor of Dr. Samuel Openudia. Please, we'd like the Edo Cultural Troupe to lead our guests to the venue now after the national anthem. Edo Cultural Troupe, get ready. LSS, national anthem. Shall we please rise? Very much.
Photo stand, please. Photo stand.